Orlando Magic versus Atlanta Hawks. Two teams locked in the middle of the Southeast Division standings collide under the lights at State Farm Arena. Both the Orlando Magic and Atlanta Hawks sit at 3-4, part of a three-way logjam behind Miami. With early season momentum still up for grabs, this matchup feels heavier than its record suggests. A conference tone-setter between two squads trying to separate from mediocrity. The numbers give Atlanta a slight edge, just over 52%, but Orlando enters with back-to-back wins and a rising rhythm that could tilt the balance. The tale begins with identity. Orlando, 10th in the East, averages 116.9 points per game behind a 48.1% shooting clip. Their front-court versatility defines their flow. Paolo Banchero anchoring the attack with 23.3 points, 9.3 rebounds, and a 45.6% field goal rate, while Franz Wagner and Desmond Bane stretch the floor with disciplined efficiency. The Magic share the ball, 23.7 assists, and rebound collectively, 45.9 per game, creating second-chance stability that feeds their pace. Defensively, Jalen Suggs sets the tone with 1.8 steals, and Banchero's 1.3 blocks per game add interior protection to an improving rotation. Atlanta mirrors Orlando's offensive energy, but thrives more on perimeter creation. The Hawks average 115.1 points with 47.7% shooting, leaning on a balanced mix of Jalen Johnson's athletic drives and Trae Young's orchestration. Johnson leads the Hawks with 21.2 points and 9.0 rebounds, blending power with finesse at 58.4% from the floor and 80.8% at the line. When healthy, Young's 7.8 assists and deep-range gravity command defenses to stretch, though he remains sidelined through late November. Without him, Atlanta's ball movement dips slightly, but secondary creators like Dyson Daniels, 2.6 steals per game, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker keep defensive pressure alive. This matchup pivots on a defining contrast. Orlando's size and rebounding structure versus Atlanta's perimeter versatility and transition pace. Form tells a story of two directions. The Magic are trending up, winners of two straight after a dominant 123-94 performance over Washington and a 123-107 blowout of Charlotte. Their recent stretch shows offensive confidence, scoring 120-plus in 3 of their last 5, with a tightening defense that has cut opponents' efficiency dramatically. The Hawks, meanwhile, have stumbled, losing 3 straight, all by single digits. Their 117-109 loss to Cleveland underscored a late-game scoring drought and inconsistency defending the three-point line. Both teams hover near identical averages, but the rhythm favors Orlando, a group discovering cohesion as Atlanta searches for balance amid roster adjustments. At the center of it all lies the star duel, Paolo Banchero versus Jalen Johnson, two dynamic forwards shaping their team's futures. Banchero has become a nightly force, averaging 23.3 points, 9.3 rebounds, and 4.1 assists while hitting 73.9% from the stripe. His mid-range poise, footwork, and physical finishing define Orlando's half-court identity, anchoring an offense that thrives on patience and inside-out balance. Johnson, on the other side, mirrors that impact through versatility and pace, averaging 21.2 points and 9 boards per game while shooting a scorching 58.4% from the field and 65.8% from deep. He's a smooth, decisive scorer who thrives in transition and punishes mismatches with controlled aggression and length. Their clash represents a new-age front-court duel, power and precision against speed and spontaneity. Banchero dictates tempo through contact and composure, while Johnson bends defenses with constant motion and shot variety. Each star draws double teams differently, forcing rotations and adjustments that ripple through both lineups. The player who controls rhythm, whether Banchero's methodical dominance or Johnson's relentless pace, could very well decide not just this game, but how these two young teams define their emerging identities. Tactically, this game hinges on possession control. Orlando's edge lies in the paint and glass. Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., and Anthony Black anchor a rebounding core, 45.9 boards per game, that can expose Atlanta's smaller rotations, especially with Porzingis still regaining rhythm after limited action. Atlanta's counterpunch will come from spacing and pace, using Johnson's rim runs and Daniels' defense-to-offense energy to exploit transition lanes. The absence of Trae Young shifts the Hawks toward a more collective approach, emphasizing off-ball movement and drive-kick dynamics. Expect Luke Kennard's shooting and Nickeil Alexander-Walker's defensive activity to shape Atlanta's flow. For Orlando, Suggs' ability to contain perimeter dribble penetration and orchestrate secondary breaks could swing momentum. The Magic's half-court patience and second-chance scoring opportunities may force Atlanta into extended defensive possessions, testing their conditioning. Both benches are thin, but Orlando's interior depth through Goga Bitadze and Tristan da Silva adds stability that Atlanta may struggle to match inside. If the Magic win the rebounding margin decisively, their physicality and composure could wear down a Hawks team built more on speed than strength. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Orlando Magic winner. Booker plays with balance and tempo, reading defenses and striking surgically. Curry lives on chaos, movement, misdirection, and timing. One thrives on control, the other on rhythm. Their duel isn't just about numbers. It's a contrast in basketball philosophy, the calm of calculated leadership against the brilliance of spontaneous genius. Every possession becomes a study in contrasts, Booker's deliberate precision versus Curry's improvisational flair. When Booker dictates pace, Phoenix looks methodical and poised. When Curry finds space, the game turns into poetry in motion. It's not just two scorers competing, it's two artists shaping tempo, flow, and energy on their own terms. Prediction: Magic 116. Hawks 110. Orlando's balance, interior control, and late-game composure give them a narrow edge. Johnson will shine, but Banchero's consistency and Suggs' defensive focus tilt the closing moments. The Magic extend their win streak to 3, climbing above Atlanta in the Southeast standings with a statement road victory, steady, smart, and just disciplined enough to outlast the Hawks' flash. Charlotte Hornets versus New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans returns home desperate to stop the bleeding. At 0-6 and buried at the bottom of the Southwest Division, the Pelicans are chasing their first win of the season, and it won't come easy. Charlotte arrives with a 3-4 record, hungry to climb out of the Eastern cellar after an uneven start. Both teams have battled through early injuries and inconsistency, but the urgency clearly sits in New Orleans' corner. 6 straight losses have stripped confidence from a group once built to contend. The matchup predictor tilts slightly toward the Pelicans, but that margin feels fragile against a Hornets team whose offensive rhythm has found daylight behind LaMelo Ball's all-around command. At the Smoothie King Center, one side is fighting to steady its footing, the other to avoid spiraling deeper into November frustration. Charlotte's offensive profile shows balance and pace. The Hornets average 121.6 points per game, elite early season production, powered by a 48.1% field goal mark and a sturdy 35.7% from 3. They distribute efficiently with 28.1 assists a night and protect the glass with 45.7 rebounds. LaMelo Ball sets the tone at 23.3 points, 9.8 assists, and 7.8 rebounds, orchestrating one of the East's fastest-moving attacks. Miles Bridges adds 21.0 points on 39.3% from deep, while rookie Con Knueppel and Brandon Miller stretch the floor and slash with athletic precision. Defensively, Charlotte's rotation commits, averaging 6.7 steals and 4.4 blocks, with center Ryan Kalkbrenner anchoring the paint at 2.1 rejections per game. New Orleans, by contrast, is struggling to connect. Averaging 107.7 points per game on just 42.1% shooting, the Pelicans' offensive rhythm has sputtered. Zion Williamson still delivers his trademark force, 22.8 points and 6.8 rebounds per game on 48.7% shooting. But the supporting cast hasn't found its consistency. Jordan Poole's 18.5 points come on streaky efficiency, while Trey Murphy III and Herbert Jones have yet to rediscover last year's perimeter balance. The Pelicans average only 22 assists and 8.3 steals, hampered by 14 turnovers per night. Yves Missi offers defensive promise with 1.2 blocks and activity around the rim, yet the overall team defense hasn't translated to stops, with opponents shooting freely through the first 2 weeks. The stylistic contrast is sharp. Charlotte thrives on tempo and spacing. New Orleans labors in half-court sets. The defining battle is simple: Hornets' pace versus Pelicans' power. Momentum tells the rest of the story. Charlotte has won 3 of its last 5, including decisive road wins at Utah and Minnesota, scoring 128 and 122 in back-to-back nights. Their offense hums when Ball and Bridges push early offense, and the bench sustains energy through spacing and transition. Even in narrow losses, they've maintained scoring consistency above 115. New Orleans, meanwhile, sits at the opposite extreme. 6 straight defeats, by an average margin of nearly 10 points, reveal a team pressing for identity. Their last 2 losses, 137-108 and 122-88, underline the defensive breakdowns and offensive stagnation that have defined their start. Until the Pelicans tighten rotations and rediscover shot discipline, every possession feels labored. The headliner duel features 2 franchise stars built on different foundations. LaMelo Ball, at 23.3 points, 9.8 assists, and 7.8 boards, is the Hornets' engine, a blend of vision and pace. His 43.0% field goal mark and 81.5% from the line emphasize poise under control, while his 1.7 steals per game fuel Charlotte's transition bursts. Zion Williamson counters with brute dominance, averaging 22.8 points and 6.8 rebounds on 48.7% shooting. Where Ball manipulates angles and tempo, Williamson imposes physicality. The duel will hinge on who dictates rhythm: Ball stretching the floor and accelerating play, or Williamson slowing it into interior warfare. Tactically, Charlotte's offensive movement is its greatest weapon. They space the floor with multiple playmakers, share the ball freely, and turn rebounds into early offense. Against New Orleans' slower defensive rotations, expect the Hornets to attack mismatches through high screens and secondary drives. Defensively, they'll swarm Zion with length, daring the Pelicans' shooters to beat them from deep. New Orleans must counter through ball security and second-chance points, areas they've lagged in, while relying on Missy's interior presence to challenge at the rim. Bench depth favors Charlotte, whose secondary unit has delivered steady production through Colin Sexton's scoring and Diabate's energy. For the Pelicans, fatigue and cohesion remain hurdles, compounded by the absence of DeJounte Murray until January. X factors shape the margins. If Charlotte's 3-point rhythm travels, Bridges, Miller, and Newpel combining for high-volume accuracy, they can stretch New Orleans beyond recovery. For the Pelicans, Poole's shot selection and Murphy's spacing are critical. Without perimeter lift, Zion's dominance gets neutralized by collapsing defenses. Rebounding control and turnover balance will decide tempo, and tempo will decide outcome. Beyond the stats, it's a matter of poise and timing. Charlotte thrives when their pace creates flow, when LaMelo turns rebounds into instant offense and the wings fill lanes with rhythm. But when that motion stalls, the Hornets can drift into isolation-heavy stretches that play right into New Orleans' physical half-court traps. Conversely, the Pelicans' success hinges on chemistry, how seamlessly Zion's drives, Ingram's mid-range touches, and Poole's streaky perimeter bursts coexist. The team that sustains spacing through fatigue and executes under pressure will own the decisive possessions when momentum swings late. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Charlotte Hornets winner. The final call. Charlotte's form, spacing, and ball control outweigh New Orleans' interior power. Expect the Hornets' tempo to dictate flow, forcing the Pelicans into catch-up mode where their efficiency dips further. Charlotte's cohesion and versatility win out late. Prediction: Hornets 122, Pelicans 111. Charlotte steadies itself on the road, while New Orleans' search for rhythm and its first win continues. Oklahoma City Thunder versus LA Clippers, two teams on very different trajectories collide at the Intuit Dome on November 4th, where the undefeated Oklahoma City Thunder, 7-0, 3-0 away, visit the LA Clippers, 3-2, 3-0 home. The Thunder have been the NBA's most complete story so far. 7 straight wins, first in the Northwest Division, and top of the West in balance and belief. The Clippers, meanwhile, sit second in the Pacific Division, perfect at home, but searching for sustained rhythm on the road. The matchup predictor leans toward Oklahoma City with a 61.3% edge, but LA's veteran depth and home dominance make this a fascinating test of momentum versus maturity. An early season measuring stick that feels like something bigger than Game 8. Oklahoma City leads the league in tempo and efficiency, averaging 122.1 points per game while shooting 48.0% from the field and 36.0% from three. Their 25.1 assists and 10.7 steals per night reflect a team moving the ball freely and defending with bite. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander headlines the attack with 33.6 points, 5.9 assists, and elite shot discipline, 50.6% overall and 89.6% from the line. Around him, Chet Holmgren, 23.0 PPG, 8.0 RPG, 56.9% FG, stretches the floor while anchoring the paint with length and poise. Isaiah Hartenstein adds interior toughness, 10.9 PPG, 11.4 RPG, while rookie Cason Wallace injects defensive chaos with 3.0 steals per game. The Thunder's identity is rooted in pressure. They push pace, attack gaps, and swarm the perimeter. The Clippers counter with precision. They average 111.2 points on 48.2% shooting and 35.6% from deep, leaning on veteran shot creation and ball control. James Harden orchestrates everything with 9.2 assists per game, feeding Kawhi Leonard's 23.8 points and 6.0 rebounds. Ivica Zubac brings size and stability inside, 15.2 PPG, 8.6 RPG, 64.7% FG, while role players like John Collins and Derrick Jones Jr. round out a starting group built for spacing and switchability. Defensively, LA is methodical. Their 5.4 blocks per game and 18.2 assists allowed show a team that prefers containment to chaos. Where Oklahoma City thrives on tempo, the Clippers favor structure and patience. That contrast defines this clash. Relentless youth versus calculated control. Momentum paints an equally sharp divide. The Thunder's last 5 outings read like a championship contender's script. Blowouts over New Orleans, 137-106, and Washington, 127-108, a road grind in Sacramento, 107-101, and narrow escapes versus Dallas, 101-94, and Atlanta, 117-100. Their 7-game streak includes 4 wins by double digits and showcases evolving poise, closing tight games with defense, not desperation. The Clippers, conversely, have been uneven. They edged New Orleans 124-122 and Utah 129-108, but dropped 2 of their last 3, including a stumble versus Golden State, 89-78. The offense has been fluid at home but inconsistent away from the dome. Still, a 3-0 home mark signals comfort and confidence on their own floor. At the center of everything is the star duel. Gilgeous-Alexander versus Leonard, two masters of control in entirely different ways. Shea's 33.6 points come from relentless pace changes, surgical drives, and mid-range precision, while Leonard's 23.8 per night rely on footwork, physicality, and cold-blooded shot selection. Shea's 50.6% field goal mark and 89.6% free throw rate highlight his efficiency edge. Leonard counters with 51.2% shooting and a 95.5% mark at the stripe. One plays downhill, breaking schemes, the other dismantles them methodically. It's youth's rhythm versus experience's patience, and it may decide the game's tone as much as the scoreboard. But what truly separates them is how they bend defenses. Gilgeous-Alexander thrives in chaos, probing, pivoting, and freezing help defenders before slashing through seams that didn't seem to exist seconds earlier. He's both the creator and the finisher, dictating Oklahoma City's identity with his timing and flair. Leonard, by contrast, brings a calm brutality. Every jab step, every fadeaway feels intentional, a master class in isolation basketball, forcing opponents into mistakes with his unshakable pace. Shea dictates rhythm, Kawhi dictates inevitability. Their clash is less about explosiveness and more about subtle mastery. The quiet plays that shift momentum, the possessions where the ball never seems in doubt. When the clock tightens and each possession gains gravity, their duel becomes not just a test of talent, but of control, who bends the moment to their will. Tactically, this game is a collision of contrasts. Oklahoma City's offensive fluidity tests LA's defensive structure. The Thunder's 25.1 assists per game demand disciplined switching and quick recovery, areas where the Clippers' veterans can struggle against speed. On the glass, LA's front line of Zubac and Collins must limit Holmgren and Hartenstein, who combine for nearly 20 rebounds a night. Transition tempo is another flashpoint. OKC scores heavily in motion, while LA ranks among the league's slower-paced units. Turnovers could tilt it. The Thunder force over 10 steals per night, while Harden's playmaking brilliance sometimes flirts with risk. Bench play may be decisive. Wallace, Joe, and Wiggins bring defensive spark for OKC, while LA relies on depth scoring from Beal, Collins, and Dunn. The X factors: Chet's rim spacing against LA's bigs, and whether Leonard's mid-range mastery can bend OKC's defense into half-court control. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Oklahoma City Thunder winner. When the pace settles, efficiency rules. Oklahoma City's blend of aggression, balance, and rhythm gives them more ways to win, especially if their defense turns stops into easy offense. The Clippers' experience and home comfort will keep it close, but the Thunder's youth, energy, and composure under pressure should prevail. Expect a fast, physical duel that stays tight until the final minutes. Prediction: Thunder 117, Clippers 110. Oklahoma City stays perfect behind Gilgeous-Alexander's poise and a defense that dictates tempo. Another early statement from the league's most balanced young powerhouse.